Good afternoon, hi, it's Alan McIlroy here from Berthon International, obviously the brokerage house, and I also represent a Solaris yachts here in the UK. And that being the case, we also have access to some very nice brokerage examples. Today we're going to be looking over the Solaris 58 Lady G. Berthon International, as you may or may not know, are the Solaris agents here in the UK, Ireland, Channel Islands, Sweden, Scandinavia and parts of the east coast of the States. Solaris are, as you probably do know, they really rather nicely crafted performance cruising yachts built up at the top end of the Adriatic in Italy. Now, obviously with working with Solaris, we have the benefit of the wider Solaris family. So we have the opportunity to bring you and offer our clients some of the rather nice pre-owned Solaris. Now today I'm going to show you over a rather nice Solaris 58 that I visited recently, Lady G. Now this yacht is currently based down in La Spezia. She's a 3-owner boat and she's from 2016. Now she spent much of her life in this part of the world and has been largely looked after by the Solaris Service Centre here in Baratze and Genoa. So yeah, she's enjoyed good ownership throughout her life. She's a white-hulled yacht, white GRP hull and teak-led decks. She sports a carbon mast and V-boom, as you can see. Little folding carbon passerelle makes getting on board quite easy. So in line with the Solaris sisterhood, she has the twin wheels set well outboard. Everything led aft to 2 banks of jammers in front of those. So while she's, nice deep keel, reasonably powerful rig, it's all easily managed from the aft end of the cockpit. Stepping forward up to the bow. Due to the fact you have slightly dreadnought bow on these yachts, so you've got a slightly more extended stainless bow roller there for the anchor. And if I'm not mistaken, that's a rather nice little ultra anchor hanging on that as well. And just there's a little detail just forward of the Genoa furler, there is a Raymarine furler for the code 0, so that's push button as well. Spacious anchor locker there. The windlass gypsy set on that little plinth, but interestingly the motor for the windlass gypsy is underneath, which is in the dry sail locker, so well away from salt water. Retractable mooring winch there. And then of course the hatch to the sail locker. You'll notice they put a little clear hatch over this sail locker, and that's because it's also fitted out to be an additional berth, well 2 berths actually, crew berth. So there's a little WC in there and of course the berth. It's fitted with the chain plate there for the tack for staysail and the 2-to-1 staysail halyard also. Looking aft, we have the Frigomar flush hatches, and then recessed track, which is of course Harken for the self-tacking Genoa. Halspars carbon mast, 3-spreader rig, and that's on rod, and a V-boom. And hydraulic bang and backstays by Harken. Nice sun pad over the coach roof there, and she has a saloon window running along the front of that coach roof as well, throwing light into the galley, and they've obviously got canvas sun covers on there. Of course all the lines at the foot of the mast led aft and come back to the jammers back at the aft end of the cockpit. A little bank of Raymarine instrumentation there, just on the mast bracket. And detail of one of the 2-to-1 halyards and of course the rod rigging. Rod rigging is probably due an inspection and service. Recent canvas work and sails, actually, I should mention as well. The main and Jenna are relatively young. And there's a bird's eye view there of the aft end of the really quite spacious cockpit. Twin pedestals set well outboard. And of course then the pedestals house instrumentation, bow thruster, autopilot controls, and in this case a micro Morse on the engine control as well, electronic. On this side we have a plotter. Number of little switches there which will operate the furling gear, transom, garage door and so on. Exit 3-spoke carbon wheels. Pump for the and selector for the Harkin hydraulics. And a little view there forward to the guest cockpit. John Boyd man overboard recovery module there. So 2 good Lazarettes, one to port, one to starboard, aft. The centre hatch gives direct access then to the centerline dinghy garage, the dinghy being stowed fore and aft in its own isolated locker. And then of course we have the hydraulically operated swim platform, which is the controls behind the pedestal here. So it opens up to give access to both the dinghy garage and then of course a swim platform. Again, the cockpit cushions, they're sort of charcoal grey with a little bit of lighter piping on them. That all looks pretty fresh, it has to be said. I think that's quite obviously been replaced in recent times. A little detail there of the cockpit speaker and lights. So 2 banks of jammers and then of course 4 Harkin performer winches, all of which are electric. Life raft stowed just before the companionway. So, stepping below deck. Lady G is finished in the bleached oak interior with leather upholstery and grey carpet throughout. Starboard we have our navigation area and of course the switch panel. Port we have L-shaped seating with saloon table and 2 freestanding chairs. And then forward we have that galley running full beam to beam on the midships right behind the mast, which I think is a great layout. It gives tons of storage and it's very sociable. It's a really good working galley, and of course you're the centre over the keel of the boat as well. Lots of refrigeration, lots of stowage everywhere you look. That's a Miele induction hob. Twin stainless sinks and white Corian surface. A bit of detail there of the clear coated carbon rig. It's clear coated just below the deck. Above the deck it's gloss black paint. A better option. So there we have the centerline galley. Stepping forward into the owner's cabin, she has the offset double layout, which puts your head back towards the main bulkhead and the mast, which I would have said is a good thing. And the owners then WC and shower are forward. So good sized offset double to port. Overhead stowage there, and you can just see the detail of the blinds and the hull windows. Seating and again ample stowage to starboard. Again, additional drawers underneath the berth itself, ideal for bedding and so on. Stepping forward, then the owner's WC it's really good because it's full width, so the detail of the shower head. But a really, really good sized shower stall. And then to starboard, well, electrically flushing WC. And then outboard we have clear coated carbon work surface with sink and mixing faucet there. Stepping aft, back into the saloon, let's head aft. To port and starboard aft, we have two cabins. The starboard cabin sports twin berths, upper and, well, lower and slightly upper outboard. Apologies there, I neglected to open the hull window blind, which would have let a bit more light flood in. Also got quite good access, well, very good access here to the engine bay. So we'll have a peep in. We have a Kohler generator, which I believe has got the princely sum of about 740 odd hours on it. And then looking forward, there you have the Volvo, it's 150. And I believe that's sporting about 1800 hours. So yeah, fairly clean, well maintained, tidy, well insulated engine bay. Both cabins have ensuite. So there we go, some light on the situation. So again, a little bit of clear coated carbon in the work surface, electrically flushing WC, and then forward of that we have a separate shower stall. Shifting over to port. Port has a large double berth. Again, hull windows, more access to the machine room, just the side of the generator. And again, a well-appointed ensuite. You can see the detail throughout the yacht. She's very well presented. So there you have it, Lady G, the Solaris 58 from 2016, currently in commission and afloat in La Spezia. But if you'd like to discuss further or for further information, please don't hesitate to get in touch. Thank you.